Shalom. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of the own lives through the four corners of the earth. To the Akwath listening, learning, sincerity, and in truth and in silence, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp. Here in Toronto, here with another lesson. All right, and we'll get right into it. You know, some news came out today. From this morning, October 2nd, 2025. The hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction of Esau. And this is from political news. Trump making plans to spend billions, to send billions in cash bailouts to farmers with taxpayer money. Right? The president has also said he wants to use direct tariff revenue for the payments, but that could trigger a major fight in Congress, right? And listen, America is in straits. All right, let's get that scripture. Job 20. Job 20 and 22. And it reads, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Right? When America, you know, is in the apex of their rulership, their kingdom, their age, right? He shall be in straits being difficulty. Right? And that's what we see going on with America right now. Right? She got her economy is in shambles. Right? Her civilians are mourning. Scriptures say when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right? The people are mourning. Right? And it's going to continue to wax worse. It reads, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, right? So America's in a position of difficulty. And her own people, right? Because you look at this word wicked, the Hebrew word is a mal, Job 20 and 22, let me check. Right? Which is laborer, sufferer, right? The people want answers. Right? The people are fed up. Right? They continue to see the politicians wax richer and richer. And their case, their state, their way of life continue to get poorer and poorer. Every hand of the wicked, a mal, right? Strong G 86001. Laborer, sufferer, wretched one. Laborer, workman, suffer, right? So people are suffering, man. Right? We quoted the scripture. Let me get it. The people are suffering. Right? And these farmers, listen, no bailout's going to help. No bailouts is going to help these farmers, man. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, right? And this age, Esau's time, is about up, right? And it's not working, right? And these elites, they are fire sailing their corporation, America the Great, and getting ready to move into the NWO, the New World Order, the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down, the grain of rice. Right, but I wanted to watch some of this. That is putting America. I wanted to watch some of this, and the Lord will bring out some precepts.
Devastating to hear that the president is putting $20 billion into Argentina. And, we don't see that as putting America first.
Right, and this is from 5 days ago, after the news of 20 billion bailout being given to Argentina, right? And now today news is coming out that the Trump administration wants to use tariffs, money that they receive from tariffs, to bail out the farmers, right?
We see it as, contributing to putting farmers out of business. The president's tariffs have hurt America's farmers. The market prices have plummeted. Farmers are facing foreclosure. Suicides are up. Farm foreclosures are up. All these things are up, and the administration has been
Right, because laboring in vain, right? Suicides are up, man, and that's a Edomite trait, right? To off themselves, right? Second Ezra 5. Second Ezra 5 and 2. I'll read. Second Ezra 5 and 12. I'll read from 11. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say no, right? People, it's going to get to the point where people are going to be looking for answers. They're going to be looking for the men of the Lord, right? But the Lord's going to pull his men back. The famine of the word, there's going to be no more highways and byways. The unicorn, all of that's going to be done. The famine of the word will kick in, and there'll be no answers. People begin to look for the prophets, right? People are going to be looking for safe havens, right? And they ain't gonna find none. It's gonna be all hell breaking loose. Verse 12. At the same time, here's the point. At the same time shall men hope, right? And people hope. They believe in this beast system. They hope. They believe in 401ks. They believe in bricks and mortars, right? They believe that pull up your bootstraps and you can get it, right? The American dream. But nothing obtained. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper, right? So you're seeing this man was saying self deletions are on an up because people are losing their livelihoods.
so far slow are up. All these things are suicides are up. Farm foreclosures are up. All these things are up, and the administration has been so far slow to react. And I just listened to the president and said, "Well, how about using some of the tariff monies from there?" And that's been challenged in court. The president's whole initiative there, and he faced a couple of decisions that's going to slow that down. That's not a process that we want to go through. During the administration, and this started a little further back than 5 years ago when the president first announced the tariffs on China. I was selling soybeans for $16.80 a bushel. And then the price immediately plummeted all the way down to $8, and the markets never came back. Is what's happening. So as China has turned to other countries to buy soybeans from, there isn't any new markets here in America that's helping America's farmers. And just like you talked, the input cost going up.
I do want to ask you, I want to go back to what you mentioned about tariff money, because the president says tariffs will hopefully help farmers down the line. That takes time. It could take a year, it could take two. Do farmers have that kind of time?
Absolutely, unequivocally, no. We don't have that type of time, and that's we asking the administration. Matter of fact, I'm calling on the president today to stop farm foreclosures in this country and to put a complete farm moratorium in place on direct loans, guaranteed loans, and other private sector banks that make farm loans. America's farmers shouldn't be going under while the president is playing footsies with tariffs.
Let me get a scripture, right? And no amount of bailouts, No amount of nothing's gonna help this um downturn, right? Circling of the drain, right? Death spiral of America the Great, Babylon the Great. Jeremiah 51:7. And it reads, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai's hand, right? America, Babylon the Great, America the Great. The Lord set up the wicked, right? The earth is in the hand. The earth is in the hand of the wicked. Right? The Lord put these Edomites in rulership, beginning with their elites, set them up to rule the whole earth. This is their age, their time, but we're at the end of it. That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, right? The wine being her philosophy. The whole world has drunk the wine, right? The philosophy of America the Great, Babylon the Great. Therefore, the nations are mad, right? You have nations that have, you have Ishmaelite nations that have been, that are now drunk with feminism, man, right? Historically, patriarchal societies are now drunk with feminism. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, right? And the destruction of America the Great will be sudden, right? The scriptures say in 1 hour, right? But we're seeing the fall of America the Great, economically, morally, right? Infrastructure-wise. It says here, howl for her, take balm for her pain, right? Howl, right? When a woman loses her son to gang violence, and she's burying her son, she's howling for her son, right? Grief says here, howl for her, take balm for her pain, right? Balm, right? Healing ointment. And what's the healing ointment for her pain? Bailouts, stimulus checks, right? Congress drafting up solutions for ailing economies. If so be she may be healed, right? And she's not going to heal, man. These bailouts and these solutions are not going to heal. This is the will of the Lord, man. America the Great, Babylon the Great is circling the drain. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, right? None of it's going to help. Forsake her and let us go, everyone, into his own country, right? And we see a lot of these Moabite, Ishmaelites, Elamites who came to America, opened up shops, made money, right? They're packing up and they're going back to their homelands. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky, right? The judgment of America the Great, right? Right. The Lord, listen, the Lord is going to melt America the Great, Babylon the Great. Thus saith the scriptures.
Isn't an act of God that's a complete farm moratorium in place on direct loans, guaranteed loans, and other private sector banks that make farm loans. America's farmers shouldn't be going under while the president is playing footsies with tariffs. This isn't an act of God that's hurting us. It's these policies and the president's tariffs that's really hurting.
He's wrong. He said this isn't an act of God that's hurting us. This is the will of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. The Lord is the orchestrator of these things. The Lord is bringing these calamities to America the Great. Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create evil. Salakia. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things, right? The Lord is the orchestrator of all things. Psalms. Is it 75 or 78? 78. Psalm 78 and 49. And this is going into the plagues of Egypt. Psalm 78 and 47. He destroyed their vines with hail and their sycamore trees with frost. Right? The plagues of Egypt. Right? What's that? What was this in the ancient world? So-called weather phenomena. The Lord brought it. He gave up their cattle also to the hail and their flocks to hot thunderbolts. Right? The Lord's bringing it. So listen, the farming industry's got issues. Their livestock, they can't sell soybeans. Their corn is withered. The Lord's bringing it. Here's the point. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation. Right? Indignation meaning righteous anger. The Lord brought it down on ancient Egypt. And today we're in what? Spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. And trouble, the Lord brought the trouble by sending evil angels among them, right? So the Lord brings it, man. This man said this is not an act of God. This is the act. All these calamities are the act of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
Hurting America's farmers. Devastating to hear that the president thinks that it may farmers. America's farmers shouldn't be going under while the president is playing footsies with tariffs. This isn't an act of God that's hurting us. It's these policies and the president's tariffs that's really hurting America's farmers. Devastating to hear that.
Right, yeah, act of God. You know, these farmers, they'll say, a tornado wipe my crops out. Frost, right, wipe my crops out. You know, and insurance claims will say, oh, an act of God, right? If a tornado wipes out your farms, frost wipes out your farms, that's the act of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Right? But what we see here is the Lord is visiting the economy, the infrastructure, the staff of bread of America the Great, Babylon the Great. These farmers are gonna go belly up. A lot of them are gonna go bankrupt, foreclosures, lose their shit, lose their property, lose their equipment, right? And then these farmlands that go into foreclosure, they get snatched up. The last I checked, Bill Gates owned I was looking at it in chat, owns let me see. I was asking chat numerous questions. I was asking about Chinese. Are there any Chinese land holdings companies in the U.S.? Chat said yes. I asked who owns the most farmland in the U.S. It says it depends how you define own, private individual versus corporate farmland, specifically versus all land, etc. But according to recent reports, the largest private farmland owner in the U.S. is Kill Snakes, right? Gil Bates, right? With around 260,000, 275,000 acres of agricultural land. So listen, man, right? Controlled demolition. These elites, what's their mantra? You will own nothing and be happy, right? All part of the New World Order, the Revelation going into, which will eventually segue into the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down, which will eventually segue into the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down, right? Right. Order ab chaos, order out of chaos. So with that, call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone to teach one rule well. Shalom to the elect.